Hello, and welcome to Metal Review Cast. We haven't got my bastard son with me today. He's not my bastard son, that's a bit harsh because I'm still alive and I exist and I'm in his life, so he's not a bastard son. But we've not got him today to do the introductions. But without further ado, we have Bring Me the Horizon DiE4u, which came out as of recording this video a couple of days ago. I didn't even know about it. I've had my head in the sand for the last couple of weeks. But anything Bring Me the Horizon has been releasing of late has been dead interesting. So I'm already really fucking excited, as you can probably tell. Very enthusiastic.
Yeah. So this came out 3 days ago. This is obviously pushing on from the I want to call it an album because it's pretty much an album, but they call it an EP, didn't they? Post-human survival horror.
It's just so good.
Which was literally one of the best albums of the past few years from every aspect of how they did it.
Absolute masterpiece.
Fucking it's just brilliant. So
and this is coming from somebody as myself. I betrayed them because I didn't like the direction they were going. But what they did with that EP was just out of this world. Brilliant.
Yeah, they've definitely been they've been at the forefront of allowing a genre fluid musical style, which is great because we should never kind of go, oh, but this isn't metalcore anymore. This metalcore doesn't have these elements, or this should stick to this. It's like, no. If it sounds fucking good, who the fuck cares anymore?
Yeah, definitely.
Even Ammo, obviously I had that discussion with you and Leon. You obviously, as you say, I was slow to it as well. I refused to acknowledge Ammo, and now I listen to it, I'm like, shit, it's actually really good. It's just a concept album, fair enough, and it's not as good as, well, my personal opinion, it's not as good as the other bits, but the EP was just incredible. So they were building into something. They wanted to try different things, and you forget that they've been a band for 20 years or whatever the fuck it is. It gets boring. You need to try new things.
Yeah.
So yeah,
shake it up.
Just a band you can't hate. Well, a lot of people do, but you shouldn't.
No.
I think they're doing the right thing. But yeah, this one is 5 minutes 20, but it's just got, as you can imagine with them, the video is interesting. So we'll leave it at that.
Either someone's dead or they've taken a massive shit. Look at the state of the tiles.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a Michael Jackson style fucking video where, the long intros.
Yeah.
The storyboard.
Yeah.
Business.
Це приватна вечірка.
Я до Фрама, він мене чекає.
Before we get into that, actually, it there's the odd bits where you see stuff like that. Interestingly, Isolate didn't have a full story, but they had Robin, Jamie and stuff, talking and stuff. So they did that kind of longer intro to kind of build a story, which was quite cool because it's not that prevalent anymore. There are bands that do it. I'd say a lot of them are Bring Me the Horizon. We like to build wacky story-based videos. Where the fuck is this location, or did they build this? Because you would not want to go there.
I have no idea, man. But yeah, you wouldn't really, would you?
Fucking hellhole. Sorry if you own this place. Not gonna watch it.
They've chosen it for a reason.
Yeah, I assume it's probably, they are big enough to just build their own set and do whatever they want with the lighting and stuff like that. But it's just interesting.
Yeah.
You know that I died for. I bleed for you, know that I breathe for you. Let me see my halo, even though it's painful. I'm prepared to lose. You know that I die for, I'd cry for. You know that I die for.
Quickly, I'm intrigued as to how Ollie will sound if he does that live, where he's doing that. Whatever it's called, I don't know the technical term, but it's quite cool. It's like a very different style for him.
Yeah, I'm just looking at they've gone kind of this Blade Runner, Fifth Element, post-apocalyptic kind of video style, like it's in the future. Like where the Earth's been destroyed or somewhere else and they've rebuilt, and so maybe that's why they've, the scenery and everything else is looking a bit drab, but yet modern in certain aspects.
Yeah, I get that.
Like the hairstyle, outfits and stuff. There's a bit of Matrix to it as well. I'm really buying into the video.
Cyberpunk, yeah,
very
that kind
cyberpunk
of style, where it's like a real rebuilt society.
Yeah, maybe this song's on the new Matrix film that's coming out.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, because I don't know. Obviously, I don't watch films particularly, so I've never seen Blade Runner. I've actually never seen Matrix. I sort of know a little bit about Matrix, but that's about it.
The dark hole, man.
I had no idea about Blade Runner, so yeah.
It's a rabbit hole. Blade Runner is great. It's great. But if you were to watch either of the Blade Runners, the reboot or the early one, you'll understand exactly what I mean about this video, because that really was the birth of cyberpunk. So
yeah,
but yeah, it's really strong.
It's interesting.
Really.
It wouldn't surprise me because when Ollie said about like the pandemic and stuff, he really got into. I believe it was Resident Evil. He really got into because they had the remake, didn't they, around that time? The remake of whichever one it was came out, and he was playing a lot of that. So. Oh fuck! What song is it? Oh, brain. It's from the last album.
Parasite Eve. Sorry.
Yeah. That's it. That's the one. That's him trying to write a game soundtrack.
Well, it makes sense because there's a game called Parasite Eve as well.
Yeah, and
also we're talking about
the
pandemic in there,
and he was like gaming hugely. So yeah, basically, it could be that he's thought. Like obviously a lot of it is Ollie. He maybe thought that he wanted to do something regarding a movie or something, because there's definitely scope for them to do whatever the fuck they want. Obviously they had Ludens, which was to do with Death Stranding. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
There's so many different fucking genres in this. Like he's even bridging the gap into like that, the mumble rap kind of melody that like you hear from like the likes of Juice WRLD and people like that. Like, I wouldn't normally listen to it. And when he first came out with that, I was like, what the fuck? Like, okay. And then he threw the scream, and now we're getting into a bit of pop punk. It's like there's so many different. He's dancing through so many different things, and I guess he's just reaching out to everyone.
yeah, that's it. Their sound now as a band is like, and it's cool that a lot of them are stuck around. So like, obviously they've changed the odd member. I think the biggest issue they had was the guy from he was in I Killed the Prom Queen, who are very like obviously prevalent metalcore bands, and pretty much like one of the people alongside like Parkway Drive. They were like even before Parkway Drive, I think. He who were like an Australian metalcore band who were like the daddies of the scene, and they kind of started stuff. So when he came into the band and they started to go lighter, I think he fell out with them because he abruptly left. But the rest of the band, I'm pretty sure I've been in there for like, obviously apart from Jordan. He joined at a later point, but yeah, a lot of them have just been in the band the whole way. So they're obviously like just embracing who they are now, which is probably like obviously all stylistic choices from everyone in the band who's like, yeah, I like this. Can we like try and incorporate something of this genre or this band, or this is what I'm listening to at the moment? So it's a fucking weird journey.
It's so all over the place, but yeah, it still sounds like Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah, I think it's indistinguishable voice, isn't it?
Yeah. Right, I'll hit the old play. Yeah, it's proper gone possum. Okay.
This isn't love, this is a car crash. This isn't love, this is a bloodbath. This isn't love, this is a sentence. It's a bullet in the head. This isn't love, this is a car crash. This isn't love, this is a bloodbath. This isn't love.
Was it? Of course, you also have to add in some 80s synthwave like stuff.
Yeah, and I think a bit of fucking Japanese style stuff going on there as well. It was so high pitched, like that.
Very aggressive synth.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Someone needs to explain the video to me, because for once I can't even fathom what's happening in relation to the song.
Maybe it just doesn't need to be.
No.
It's just creative mania.
Yeah.
Just gone in and fucking.
Usually we break it down. I'm like, no idea. Lyrically, I don't know how this ties into but it intrigues me. When I watched it the first time, I was like, what's happening?
Yeah,
what's going on here?
They just switched.
Yeah. Go back a little bit.
This isn't love, this is a
Will their video even get monetized for the amount of blood that just went off?
I know.
This isn't love,
Stabbing.
this is a sentence. It's a bullet in the head. This isn't love, this is a car crash. This isn't love.
Yeah, it does sound Japanese. A Japanese game or something.
Really high up.
So pull that trigger.
That was an interesting ending, where they just cut out everything, but it sounded like it was. It actually sounded like it was a take from the studio itself.
Yeah.
Recorded on a phone or something.
So they do record a lot of stuff and put it on YouTube and some Instagram, where they do like little shorts where, like this, they previewed briefly and you could hear him doing some of the vocals and some of the screams. So they just record it like on a phone or something and just like kind of post it as like, yeah, this is like as a teaser basically.
Yeah,
it could have just been from one of those clips. Yeah,
it sounded like that. That was really nice. I really like that. What is there to say?
Yeah, I don't think it's one of my favourite songs they've done in recent times. I think the last EP was too good, but this is the bit too... even lyrically, it's a bit like generic.
It's intriguing.
but
It's interesting.
I really like the song because I just want to sing along.
Yeah.
It's so catchy.
It's very, very interesting, I think. And it's something just to, again, it's probably a tick box exercise of just something else that they've given us to experience. Like it's not necessarily one of my favorites either, but it's certainly not something that I'm adverse to. I quite enjoyed the experience as a whole. It's it's really good. There was a thing that I didn't like, and it's just myself, and it's actually got nothing to do with the music. It's to do with the video. I got really frustrated by the fucking guy with the elf ears, because no matter every single shot, he was too fast. He was just like this, and he was out of time with the rest of the music. And I know sometimes you don't have to sync things, but I'd have liked that to have been synced, because I just found it frustrating. After the first couple of times he's seen it, I was like, oh yeah, he's a maniac. And then like he was just like, and I was like, just sync it with the music, for fuck's sake, it's doing my boxing. And then that isn't even a criticism. That's just my my OCD, because I like everything to be synced. But yeah, the fucking video was interesting as fuck. All the blood everywhere. In fact, on the thumbnail that we've got now, I remember seeing that on Facebook as part of their announcement. I was like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah, honestly,
like, what have they done? Now I see it. I'm like, okay, it was raining blood.
Yeah, there was a lot of blood in this. Yeah. And like, obviously, like, again, like lyrically, even though it's quite generic, there's still something you can like tie yourself to, no matter what, because people have thought that way in relationships and friendships. So you'll do anything for that person. Same with family. Again, actually, it ties into like what we were talking about earlier. So it's still, there's obviously like a prevalent meaning behind it, because everything they do has a huge meaning, because obviously they're so motivated by world problems, they're politically motivated by and there's personal problems, so everything they do always seems to have a meaning, apart from like the odd song like Oh No, where they were just like, yeah, we just wanted to take the piss out of pop music because they woe all the time, so we put a load of woes in there. That's all the saxophone and stuff, and I love that song, but I do get it, because they just woe a load and made it really like generic, so it's like more of a pop song, which is fair enough.
And to be honest, that's what Bring Me the Horizon are really, really good at, is to kind of not necessarily make light, but kind of give the two extremes. So like, they might have a song that sounds really happy, but actually it's something really fucking demonic and evil, or the other way around. You know, it'll be really melancholy, and actually there's some positivity out of it. And this is a prime example. Like, you listen to it, and there's people running around with fucking knives, slitting throats, fucking biting their ears off, fucking blood everywhere. And actually, we're talking about the fact that it's like kill you no matter what. Like, you know, like, and they're really good at portraying that. They do it consistently. And I think that's probably something that is a little more subtle to their kind of their brand. That, you know, we're familiar with their sound and everything else, but what they're doing behind the scenes is actually like doing the extremes of happy and sadness. You know, apart from, I think that's the spirit. That album was like a lot around Ollie's mental state and different things like that. But even then, they still had like songs that sounded on the face of things very happy. But then actually, when you listen to the content of the words, it's really quite upsetting and sad, and had a dark connotation and story to tell. But yeah, video blew my mind. They're up in the ante on the video game. Holy shit.
I love it. I just love the creativity from the band. Doesn't matter what it is, whether it's video, and like even that live Ludens one that I showed you, where they have the like little three dancers in the middle, and it's so you just never think a little three dance group would work in a primarily metal rock song or whatever, even though Ludens is all over the place as well. And it just does that middle portion where they kind of like stop with the instruments and stuff, and they're just like doing like the electronic stuff. It's so good. And they're just like, and then they like on the live video, they're just like literally you're just seeing that portion about the dancers over the band. So they're just so good at knowing what they need to do. Like, yeah, you can't give them shit. Like people that give them shit are just being elitists. Like you don't have to like it. That's fair enough. But just because they changed, like to don't be an elitist, I think what they're doing is incredible. And as you say, it's opening.
Follow it, man. I mean, we can use ourselves as examples. You know, I did exactly that, but I kept the door open. I didn't go, oh fucking hell! It's like let's keep the door open. Let's see what they're actually doing. Is this a bridge album? Is it experimental? What they're doing? And actually, that is Ammo for that reason is so important, and it's really, really good as a discography because you can now listen back to that and see the journey of where they've gone.
Yeah.
Whereas had they just switched to this, people would have still been like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, either way. And yeah, it's like I really like Ammo for its own reasons, but it was it is more towards mainstream, but what they did was I think they just needed a break. They almost needed a break to do something that they wanted to do, whether it was a much lighter sound. And as you say, they'd kind of moved towards it anyway. Sempiternal, you can hear ounces of it. That's the Spirit. You can hugely hear the change. And then, then Ammo, and they just go, right, let's just do something a lot lighter. But as you say, without it, maybe they wouldn't have had such a good album that followed it in Posthuman. So just fucking awesome. It's just so nice. And obviously they have the power to do whatever they want. But I think what's nice is I've seen other bands that are spurred on by this. You know, although Architects are huge, you know, they've done some changes, and there's a lot of bands that we've seen from smaller, local, underground, up and coming bands where there's just a lot more they're doing musically now.
They feel more comfortable experimenting with it.
They're not scared anymore.
It's acceptable.
Yeah. I think Bring Me the Horizon are paving the way for a new era, and they have done for a while. It's just obviously it took some of us a little longer to get on board, but yeah, they're just doing, I think, a lot for, without knowing it or without people seeing it, they're doing so much for a lot of bands. So
yeah, definitely.
Play us out. Everything will still be down below. They still need the love. Everyone needs love. Doesn't matter how big the band is.
Absolutely. It's not playing out for me.
No, I haven't clicked it yet.
Play us out with some flies and a dingy toilet entrance or exit.
Right here. There we go. Got it perfectly. Play us out. Goodbye. So everything will be down below.
Let me see my